You pull into the driveway on a Tuesday night. The car is nicer than the one you had at 32. The house is bigger, the garage is fuller, and yet something quiet sits in your chest. You can't quite name it. You earn more than you ever imagined at 25. But the breathing room never showed up. You wait for it. Every raise, every bonus. It never arrives. And deep down, you already know why. There's a specific trap that closes around men in their 40s, and almost nobody warns you about it before you're already inside. It doesn't look like a trap. It looks like success. It looks like the upgraded SUV, the better neighborhood, the kids in the program, the second bathroom remodel. Each choice felt reasonable. Each one felt earned. That's the design of it. The lifestyle trap doesn't kick in when you're broke. It kicks in exactly when you start winning. That's what makes it so quiet. Here's the part that stings. The 40s are when your earnings peak window opens. And it's also when most men quietly hand that peak away, one upgrade at a time. You're not bad with money. You're not reckless. You're not the guy buying boats on a whim. That's not the trap. The trap is more polite than that. The trap is that every dollar of new income found a new home before you noticed. The raise went to the mortgage. The bonus went to the renovation. The promotion paid for the lease. Economists have a name for it. They call it consumption smoothing in reverse. You're not smoothing your lifestyle across your life. You're tilting all the spending into the now. And the now feels good. That's the dangerous part. There's nothing wrong with any single purchase. The problem is the pattern stacked across a decade. Let me decode what's really happening underneath. Lifestyle inflation in your 40s isn't about greed. It's about identity. Every upgrade is quietly telling a story about who you've become. The bigger house says you made it. The newer car says you're not the version of you from a decade ago. The expensive vacation says the years of grinding weren't wasted. And here's the wound nobody talks about. A lot of 40-something men are buying proof. Proof that the last 20 years counted. Proof to themselves, mostly. The world isn't watching as closely as you think. You sit at your desk one afternoon and pull up the retirement account. The number is bigger than it was 5 years ago. But you do the math, and it isn't bigger by enough. That's the moment the trap reveals itself. Not in a crash, not in a crisis. In a quiet Tuesday calculation that you'd rather not finish. You hear the voice in your head start negotiating. There's still time. The next raise will fix it. Once the kids are older, once this project closes, once. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Leo, life is short. I worked hard. I deserve the nicer life. And you're not wrong. That instinct is real. But here's the nuance most people miss. Deserving and affording are two different conversations. You can absolutely deserve a richer life and still be quietly underfunding the future version of you who'll need it most. The healthy version of upgrading looks like this. Your fixed costs grow slower than your income. Your savings rate climbs every time your paycheck does. The lifestyle expands, but the gap widens too. The trap version looks the opposite. Your fixed costs grow faster than your income. Your savings rate stays flat or slips. The lifestyle expands, and the gap quietly closes. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is the only thing that builds real freedom in your 50s. Not the car, not the house, the gap. And in your 40s, that gap is the most powerful financial tool you'll ever hold, because compounding has just enough runway left to do something serious with it. Roughly speaking, $1 saved at 42 has about 2 more doublings in it before traditional retirement age. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between tight and comfortable. But every dollar absorbed into a permanent monthly obligation, a bigger payment, a longer lease, a recurring upgrade, that dollar loses its doublings. It's spoken for, forever. This is the part of the trap that hurts to hear. The lifestyle decisions you make between 40 and 48 tend to lock in. They become the new floor. You don't downgrade easily after that. You can't really sell the house your kids grew up in. You can't unenroll from the school. You can't easily walk back the neighborhood, the friends, the rhythm. The lifestyle becomes the life. Let me pause here for a second, because this one matters. I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually think about it. Where are you in this story right now? Are you still in the building phase, or do you already feel the floor rising under your feet? Drop a comment and tell me honestly. Are you 41 and just starting to notice the squeeze? Are you 47 and wondering how the math got this tight? Are you 52 and quietly rebuilding the plan? Your answer might be the exact thing another guy watching this needs to read tonight. Someone scrolling at 11 o'clock, doing the same math you did, feeling the same quiet panic. Your comment could be the thing that makes him feel less alone. Okay, back to it. Here's the deeper layer most men don't see until much later. The lifestyle trap is rarely about you alone. It's about comparison you didn't even know you were running. You glance at the neighbor's new roof. You notice your brother-in-law's boat. You see what your old college friends post from their trips. None of it lands consciously, but it lands. And slowly the baseline of what feels normal drifts upward, not because you decided, because the people around you did. You're floating on a current you didn't choose. This is the social tax on success. The more you earn, the higher the social baseline around you becomes. The promotion buys you into a peer group where the new normal is already 2 upgrades ahead of you. That's why some men feel poorer at 180,000 than they did at 70. The income went up. The reference group went up faster. And here's the part that's almost cruel. Nobody around you is going to flag it. Your accountant won't. Your friends won't. Your spouse may not, because the upgrade looks sane to them, too. The trap is self-sealing. Everyone in it agrees that everything is fine. Because if it isn't fine for you, it isn't fine for them either, so the conversation just doesn't happen. Now let's talk about the math you may be avoiding. 40-something men in the middle to upper middle bracket often have meaningful retirement balances, sometimes well into 6 figures, sometimes more. That number can feel like safety. It isn't yet. Run the rough numbers and you'll see why. A balance that looks impressive at 45 can support a much smaller monthly life than you'd expect at 65. A rough rule many planners reference is that you'll draw down roughly 4% a year in retirement. That means $1 million supports something in the neighborhood of $40,000 a year. Now look at your current lifestyle and ask the harder question. How much of the life you've built can that actually fund, not the dream life, the life you're already living right now? For a lot of men in this band, the answer is uncomfortable. The lifestyle they've quietly normalized requires significantly more than what their current trajectory will produce. That gap between the life you've built and the future income that life requires is the real cost of the trap. It's not abstract. It's a specific dollar figure with a specific date on it. But here's where I want to shift the energy, because this isn't a doom video. The 40s are not too late. They might actually be the most powerful decade you have left. You still have earning years. You probably have your highest paying ones ahead. You have experience now. You have judgment. You have a clearer read on what actually makes you happy versus what just looked good. The men who escape this trap don't do it by punishing themselves. They don't sell the house and move into a studio. They don't cut joy out of their lives. That isn't the play. The play is more surgical. They draw a quiet line and stop the lifestyle escalator. Whatever the current monthly base is, it stops climbing. Every new dollar of income from here forward has a different job. That different job is to rebuild the gap, to fund the future version of you, to buy back optionality in your 50s so you're not trapped in a job you no longer want at 58. It looks boring from the outside. The car doesn't get newer every 3 years. The house doesn't get its 3rd remodel. The vacations get thoughtful instead of escalating. But on the inside, something shifts. The quiet panic on Tuesday nights starts to lift. The math starts to bend in your favor. The runway gets longer instead of shorter. And there's a specific feeling that comes with this, that I want you to recognize. It's the feeling of being on your own side again, of working for the future you, not against him. A lot of 40-something men have been quietly working against their future selves for years. Every upgrade was a small loan from the older man you'll become. He doesn't get a vote, but he pays the bill. The shift is to start putting him on the team, to make decisions where the 45-year-old and the 65-year-old both walk away okay. That's what financial maturity actually looks like at this stage. It isn't deprivation. It isn't fear. It's alignment. It's the version of confidence that doesn't need to be displayed because you and the future you finally agree on something. And here's the advanced nuance most men miss. The freedom you're chasing isn't really financial. It's the freedom to make work optional. The freedom to say no to a meeting, a boss, a city, a season of life. That freedom is bought in your 40s, or it isn't bought at all for most men. Not because it's impossible later, but because the lifestyle floor gets too high to escape. So the question isn't really, can I afford this upgrade? The question is, what is this upgrade quietly costing the future version of me who wants to walk away from a job at 60? That question, asked honestly, changes everything. Not because it makes you cheap, because it makes you intentional, and intentional men in their 40s tend to win the back half of their lives. If this video helped you see your own situation a little more clearly, do me a favor and hit the like button. It really does help these reach other guys quietly doing the same math at 11 at night. If you're new to the channel, this is what I do here. Calm, honest conversations about the money traps nobody warned us about. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so the next one finds you. And drop a comment and tell me which part of this hit hardest. Was it the gap math, the social tax, the lifestyle floor, or the part about working against your future self? I read them. Thank you for sitting with something uncomfortable tonight. The fact that you watched this whole thing tells me something about you. You're not avoiding the conversation. You're walking toward it. That matters more than you know. In the next video, we're going deeper into one specific piece of this, the exact wealth threshold where most men finally start feeling calm about money and why it's almost never the number you think it is. Because once you see that threshold clearly, the whole game changes. The upgrades stop pulling at you. The comparisons quiet down. And for the first time in a long time, your money starts working for the man you're actually trying to become.